What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Faithless from their 2020 album, All Blessed. Thank you again to Searchy for bringing this album to my attention. And the next track is What Shall I Do? I do have to note it's the first track that doesn't seem to list a specific collaborator, so I'm assuming this was done just by the members. That doesn't mean it won't have a vocal or a sample necessarily, but I did notice that in the metadata. And yeah, the question seems to suggest a query, whether it's rhetorical and the speaker might be asking themselves, or whether they are genuinely seeking someone else's opinion, but a situation in which there are multiple options, multiple choices you might make, and trying to figure which one is the most desirable. Now, of course, it might not necessarily be a scene or a narrative per se. It could be more of a concept, or indeed just like a title for a track that is fundamentally a dance tune. I will try to follow along. Let's hear it as Luca gets into seatbelt mode here. This is Faithless. The track is What Shall I Do? And it's from their 2020 album, All Blessed. Oh. Like an acid house tune. It's like a hard floor track.
When you think you know what you want, but you don't have what you want, and you blame people who have what you want. They've taken what you have, they have things on a plate, and you don't have what you want.
And you want what you need, nothing more but you blame people for taking what you have, and you think they have it on a plate, and all you have is what you hate, and you think, well, what shall I do? What shall I say? What shall I do? What shall I say? Who are they? What do they want? This is my place, my land, my friends, my hands, my love, my life. I don't need others here.
I don't want others here.
What shall I do? You don't think they're human, you don't think they're right, you don't think they've got a point of view, you don't think they suffer too, you don't understand their language, what they feel, they
What they feel, they want, they feel, they want.
what you want might be similar, but that don't mean to you. You just think, well, hey guys, you got your own place. It might be a war zone, it might be in the sand, it might be underwater, but that was where you're born and that's where you ought to be. Not here.
Not here. Not here. Not
What shall I do? What shall I do? What shall I do? What shall I say? What shall I do? What shall I say? If you can't survive where you are, you shouldn't come here and look around and think this is the place where you can find a new life. Because here, I got a life here that's good. And the more people that come and take a piece of that life, the less of that life there is for me. The less there is to go around. The less there is for my children, my family. And I want a bit more. I need a bit more. I love a bit more. I want a bit more. I need a bit more. I love a bit more. I want a bit more. I need a bit more. I love a bit more. I want a bit more. I need a bit more. I love a bit more. What shall I do? What shall I do?
breezy track, but I think profound too. So, okay, fundamentally, it's an acid house tune, and I enjoy the pretty minimal, simple acid groove. It does have a, like, slow tempo. One of my, like, I'm a big acid techno guy, a big acid trance guy. I like acid house, and I respect it in terms of being the godfather genre that led to the proliferation of acid techno, acid trance, and so on. But generally speaking, the one reason I'm not especially keen on a lot of acid house is because it is a bit slow for my taste. I always feel like I want to pitch it up. I want to get it, with more energy. But that's just my own, like, taste. So, like, if I was mixing this as a DJ, I would pitch it up. I'd make it a little bit faster. But secondarily, as I mentioned, the main acid groove, pretty simple, but it did remind me of, like, a hard floor track. And my guilty pleasure, or my exception to the rule about acid house for me, is hard floor, because I very much enjoy a lot of hard floor tunes, and it reminded me of that, and that is a good thing. But yeah, some other sounds, that kind of creaking, like, melodic rhythm that was in a lot of the track, but then started to flourish a little bit at the end of the tune. There's these kind of, like, deeper pad synths, or, like, not even like full pad synths, but more like synth chords that were sort of fluctuating. And indeed, there were a lot of sounds that were kind of like phasing in, phasing out, including that vocal, which not only was phasing in and phasing out a bit in terms of, like, the clarity, but it was going up and down in terms of the pitch. Not so much the tempo, but the pitch. It would go deep and sound a bit slow in, like, the vocal delivery. Then it would go into, like, true tone, and then it would go sort of high, like chipmunk or like helium level, and it would sort of go back and forth. But the reason I said I think it's maybe profound is because it sounds like it's someone critiquing a person who's sort of anti-immigrant. Because he's saying, like, you're saying you don't want someone coming here and having what you don't have, and having everything given to them on a plate, and you're also saying, like, you want them to go back to where they came from. It doesn't matter if it's a war zone or if it's underwater. For you, you think they shouldn't be here, and part of the reason you think they shouldn't be here is because it's like a finite pie, right? Like, if they get anything, then you're not going to get more. You don't just want more, you need more, you love more. So, like, and it's, he's even saying, like, you probably say, well, it's about me and my family and so on, but it sounds like a critique. It sounds like this narrator is pointing out the inhumane attitude, the lack of empathy on the part of the hypothetical person being spoken to, who, again, I think is being represented as, like, very anti-immigrant. And again, to have worries about your own family and so on, that's natural enough. But to say, like, someone should go back to a place that is actively a war zone and people are dying just because, like, their ancestors came from them, that seems to have a lack of empathy. So I feel like, despite it being kind of this mellow, down-tempo acid house tune, there definitely was a message here, certainly an implied message. And I do wonder about the vocal. Is that, one of the members of the group? Is that sampled from something? Because if it is, I'm curious what it's sampled from. In any case, Luca will just kind of casually put you over here. You're all good, right? Once again, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.